Imagine standing up to walk across the room. It seems simple, but Zeno of Elea, an ancient Greek philosopher, would argue that reaching the other side is logically impossible. This puzzle, known as the dichotomy paradox, haunted the world's greatest thinkers for 2 millennia by arguing that motion is nothing but an illusion. Here's the trap. To walk to the door, you must first travel half the distance. Once you get halfway, you still have a remaining distance to cover. To cross that, you must travel half of it again, then half of that remaining section and half of that. Zeno realized that any distance, no matter how small, can be divided by 2. Therefore, to reach the door, you must complete an infinite number of smaller and smaller journeys. Since you have a finite life, Zeno argued you can never finish an infinite series of tasks. You are theoretically frozen in place. He illustrated this with the famous race between the swift warrior Achilles and a tortoise. If the tortoise gets a head start, Achilles runs to where the tortoise began. By then, the tortoise has moved a few inches. Achilles runs those inches, but the tortoise has inched forward again. Logically, Achilles can get infinitely close, but he can never actually pass the animal because there is always a new, tiny gap to close. For centuries, this seemed unanswerable. Philosophers knew motion existed, they walked around every day, but they could not find the flaw in the logic. The rescue finally came from mathematics and calculus. We learned that you can add an infinite series of numbers and get a finite result. If you add the fractions 1/2, 1/4, 1/8, and so on, the sum does not explode into infinity. It converges to exactly 1. You can fit infinite mathematical steps into a single physical stride. However, modern physics offers one final fascinating twist. Zeno assumed space was smooth and could be cut in half forever. Quantum mechanics suggests otherwise. At the tiniest scale of the universe, we hit the Planck length, which acts like the pixel size of reality. You cannot divide space smaller than this limit. So while calculus solved the math, physics suggests Zeno was wrong for a different reason. The universe is not infinite, it is granular. You will reach the door, but you are jumping over a pixelated reality to get there.